Words for IELTS writing. Hello there, my name is Ben Worthington. In this tutorial, we're going to look at words you can include to improve your IELTS essays. And then we're going to look at formulas for improving the words in your IELTS essays. And the reason why I want to look at the formulas is because if you know the formula, then you can quickly improve any essay. But if you've only got 3, 4, 5 words, then okay, you've got those extra words, but you have to wait for the ideal opportunity to insert them into your essay. And sometimes the ideal opportunity does not always arise, which can cause you to force the word into the essay, which makes it sound unnatural. And that's definitely what we do not want to do. So first, in this tutorial, we're going to look at 3 good words that we can use, and I will explain why they are useful, valuable words. And then I'll give you 2 strategies that you can use to improve any essay, to improve the words in any essay that you write. Let's get started. So the first word is ascertain. Now, the reason why I chose ascertain was because it's not very common in everyday spoken English, or even that common in written English. So if you show the examiner that you can use these fancy words or words that are less common, you're going to help impress her or him. So let's see, what does ascertain mean? Well, it means to determine. Okay, so we could say it is increasingly difficult to ascertain the reasons for more regulations in the workplace. Okay, more often than not, more red tape makes it increasingly difficult for employers to employ. So ascertain, here we could just interchange it with determine, but ascertain, like I said, slightly less common, shows the examiner you've got a wide lexical resource, or helps to persuade the examiner that you've got a wide extensive lexical resource. Next one, beget. Now, if you've heard beget before, that's fantastic. If you haven't, it basically means to cause, to bring about. So in this instance, we could say government regulations often beget more bureaucracy, red tape, and inefficiencies. And once again, what we're doing is we're changing something that's quite common, quite widespread, often cause bureaucracy, and we're upgrading it for something that's less frequent, that's used less often. And once again, we're showing the examiner we've got a more extensive lexical resource than our students, than our colleagues who are also competing with us. Okay, next one, tantamount. What does tantamount mean? Well, it basically means virtually the same as. Okay, and another reason, actually, I've just remembered, another reason why we should consider improving our vocabulary is not because we're going to show the examiner that we know how to use less common words. It's just that these less common words often can only be used in certain circumstances and often have specific grammar rules. In this case, it's tantamount to. So we're not only going to improve our lexical resource, but going to slightly improve our grammatical range and accuracy. Okay, so I'll give you an example. To place a modern McDonald's style restaurant in one of these areas would be tantamount to architectural vandalism, or would be almost the same as architectural vandalism. And I don't need to explain which sounds better in that instance. Hopefully it's clear. Now, let's move on to some of the formulas that you can use to improve your academic English. And I want to be specific here. We're looking at improving academic English, because if we do this with messaging our friends, it's going to look a bit weird. It's going to look a little bit odd. So, first one, topic-specific vocabulary. This is probably one of my favorites because I think it's the easiest and the quickest to improve your score. And I mean, I won't go into how we get the topic-specific vocabulary, but if you can see here, I've marked it in green. And it basically means these are the words that you would only find when we're talking about a specific topic specific. So you can see we've got performers, promoters. Well, the questions about sports events, spending money, that's roughly the idea, okay? So performers, promoters, entertainment, spectacle. Not only was that an example of topic-specific vocabulary, it's also a collocation. Collocation helps your language sound more natural, and it's less likely to make a mistake using a collocation because they come together, so you can't really mess it up. So we've got entertainment, spectacle, performers, promoters, and also you'll see as well that there's lots of other words underlined in this paragraph. Beget, aspire to, cultural wealth, monetary, considerable wealth. Can you see these are this is sort of like slightly more advanced vocabulary that you're not going to find on the street or talking, especially not in spoken English, definitely most likely not in spoken English. But this is what we're aiming for if we want to get a band 7 or above. A good control, a solid control of vocabulary that shows like a higher ability, and topic-specific vocabulary, and then using slightly less frequent common words is the way to go. So that's one example. The next example is once you've finished writing your essay, what you do is you go through it, okay, and you look for opportunities to improve it. Hopefully, you'll be looking for opportunities to correct it as well, but at the same time, why not look for opportunities to improve that vocabulary? So a good place to start is to look for words like good, bad, nice, or verbs like to be, to have, to get, and we can upgrade them. Okay, we can upgrade and we can show the examiner that we know how to use words slightly less common and more specialized and more specific. I'll give you an example. So in the paragraph before, we said entertainment spending is definitely a good development. If we say entertainment spending is a positive development, or is definitely a positive development, then we're using vocabulary that's less common, and positive and good in this instance are interchangeable. Okay, and then I've gone on to improve the rest of the paragraph, slightly changing the meaning in some cases, but either way, it's definitely better. So when they have access to these events, okay, I changed that from upon purchasing access for such events. It sounds more academic, it sounds more advanced. When they have access is very basic, okay? And then once again, in the basic paragraph I've said, they have the opportunity to spend some nice time with their family and friends. Blah. How basic does that sound? Fair enough, it's easy to write, it's simple and it's clear, but it's basic. It's terribly basic. It's almost criminal. So the upgraded version would be, I'll just start from the second part, they gain the opportunity to spend quality time. Quality time, another collocation. I've substituted gain for have, and I've also elaborated the sentence and make memorable experiences with their friends and family. And it means, you know, when you're spending a nice time, probably you're going to be making memorable experiences. But here I was a little bit more specific, and I just wanted to emphasize that. So those are the ways that you can improve your writing. Okay, you can improve your writing by improving the words. And if we look at the last two sort of like tips I gave you, these are formulas. And adopting formulas is much more powerful than just learning the specific words. So if you can adopt these formulas and go through your paragraph, look for opportunities to change the vocabulary from generic and normal and standard to topic specific, and at the same time look for opportunities to upgrade your language. Okay, my name is Ben Worthington. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you want more help, or if you're in a hurry and you really just want to get IELTS out of the way, then have a look at the online course. We're getting lots of success at the moment, and there, like I've explained before, you get some feedback. It's a very fast way to improve, and yeah, it basically makes IELTS a lot easier. So have a look at that. It's at IELTSPodcast.com. My name is Ben Worthington, and have a great day and good luck with your IELTS preparation.